Fed is currently at the partings of the waist. Adjusting too little will leave inflation too high. Too much, however, could lead to painful downturn. Right now, we are debating what will be the next interest rate hike. And due to that hikes that happened during this year, many asset classes has suffered literally plenty percent. So one of those asset classes that was one of the biggest victim of Fed's policy was cryptocurrency. And that's why right now we are in a around 80% downturn in terms of Bitcoin and much more in terms of altcoins. But it looks like it's not over yet. Today we will discuss the probabilities among those cryptocurrencies yet to collapse, and we will try to find out which one to possibly bet against the best. So without any further ado, let's get into another episode. And get into economy view. So we are starting with Mrs. Daily statement. So next interest rate hike will be possibly 0.5 or 0.75%. Currently, we are at 4.75 to 4% level. So we are going through the highest pace of interest rate hike since dot-com bubble, when that pace was virtually the same. Right now, Daily, one of the Fed's members, said that we need to be mindful of the lags with which monetary policy, we need to be mindful of the lags with which monetary policy is transmitted through the economy as the rise rates further. So the economy has a tendency to lag 6 to 12 months behind interest rate increase. When you're looking at the economy right now, it's in the state of the state of the market that's reacted to merely first increases of interest rates that have been gone through first quarter of the year. Daily also added financial markets. Financial markets are acting like it's around 6%. Sorry for my voice. And right now, according to her viewpoint, we cannot get too optimistic about putting the foot of the hiking metal. So the markets has literally noticed that we are trying to slow the pace of interest rate hike, but it's still too far to say that we are literally over. Daily assumes that 5% for her will be good starting point for talk about ending up this interest rate hike. So we can agree on one thing: we are entering a decisive phase in which inflection will eventually happen, and we may be through with those hikes within 2 or 3 months. But right now we need to definitely consider that her claiming it's already over for Fed is eventually too early. So let's have a look at credit. Let's have a look at next subject, that is credit card application rates, and within this, US consumers continue to seek out more credit cards this year, even as the Federal Reserve aggressively lifted borrowing costs. Consumers were less likely to apply for mortgages and auto loans over the next 12 months. But there was an let me find out, where was it? But there was an increase in the share of people who expect to apply for a credit card or a higher credit card limit. So customers have got addicted to those quick bucks, and right now trying to extinguish their whims with that easy way. The question mark, however, is who will pay off debts when the labor structure will change. So we were going through this fiscal drip. Right now we are going into a much more tight environment, and we need to be cautious, as those habits that we have acquired during this losing fiscal policy time might be destructive in the time ahead. Let's have a look at what is causing havoc upon our time, and that's COVID-0 policy. So China saw its first COVID-related death in almost 6 months on Saturday, and another 2 were reported on Sunday. There is a panic around that those cities will get eventually locked down. So worsening outbreaks across the nation are stoking concerns that authorities may again resort to harsh restrictions. This may have a negative impact on supply chain dynamics and possibly exacerbate inflation issues across economies. So, with this stupidity on the table, where we are shivering on the news that there is one case of flu in a 6 million population city, we will never go out of crisis, and these economic hiccups that we are going through will persist much longer. So that will eventually definitely weigh on returns of major indexes, whether it's China, Europe, or US. Market outlook. Let's have a look at market outlook. And Saudis denied output hike report. Energy minister said they are ready to make further cuts if needed. So whenever the world is asking them to literally stop cutting up, they finding this time as uncertain for them. That's why they saying, in order for saving the health or increasing the progress in recovery of health of the global economy, they will probably remain with their stance. So it's absurdity, it's hypocrisy, and unfortunately for the rest of the world, it's against this lower inflation tendency. But Saudis are taking advantage of that the rest of the world, beside of Asia, is in crisis. So Saudis have a chance to make a leadership in some areas, as they are not suffering in economic downturns as we do. I mean the Europe and US. Okay, what we got next? Crypto outlook. Let's have a look at crypto outlook. So FTX fallout has a destructive consequences, company recently released a redacted list of 50 largest creditors, owes them more than $3 billion. These are creditors whose names and locations weren't disclosed, so I couldn't really tell you what companies are at the real risk of bankruptcy, but we could find that some of them, as cryptocurrency lenders, have recently turned into real problems. There are some bankruptcies that also have been flocking through this industry and this week. So there is a vast array of people and institutions caught up in this FTX insolvency. So domino is definitely falling apart. So we can find also, I have just pointed out that there's a chart where we could measure the market's liquidity by calculating the quantity of bids and asks within time for particular crypto assets, and due to this we could find that this liquidity is as low as it was back in May and July, where we have suffering from major downturn. May another downturn as it was back in May happen again. I find it's definitely possible, but we need a kind of a brief in for the markets for that move. Whether we have achieved that brief in moment, I will tell you my point of view in a last trade idea section. So crypto market is with great anticipation and observation of what may come next to the industry. Who will be this black swan that will put an end to this strike of bankruptcies and eventually make these assets bleeding stop? Making this cycle an end will create space for new influx of money, new trends to appear, building more resistant solutions in decentralized finance that we can find an appetite of many market makers and many companies for. I do think it's going to be directionally positive long term, so maybe it's necessary to make the cycle end. All right, and we are jumping to market movers. What we got up there? On market movers, we can find, let's jump to 2 stores this week. And the most important events for this week, so it's not very hectic, but we can take a notice on that we have, we are through some of the Fed's members' speeches. Retail sales from Canada, that was yesterday, that was as forecasted at the similar level as back previous month. On Wednesday, however, we have PMIs that will be published the ones that haven't been published yet from Europe. All right, that may get so we have had retail sales. Sorry, I've skipped this part. So we are today with some of the Fed's members' speeches to get through, but retail sales was already at 9:30. So we are also again about to get knowledgeable about interest rate decision from New Zealand that's about to hike of 0.75. In terms of PMIs, that's for tomorrow. That's very important in order to rate the condition of the economy. In terms of US, we had recently S&P Global Manufacturing PMI flash at around 50 levels, and it's important to defend it, but we are in a steep downturn. Expectation is we will eventually hang on here for a while, and right after rebound with a nice dynamic. But there are some difficulties on the way, especially with homes that we can find that the demand is weakening for. We will have a new home sales today as well from US. That's worth watching. Afterwards, we have on Thursday holidays, Thanksgiving, so the US markets will be off, and we are returning back on Friday, but it's lacking with events. That's the outlook for the upcoming week. So we are jumping right now into trade idea. So in terms of trade idea, I would like to show you few cryptocurrency pairs. So I don't give you the exact guidance which cryptocurrency to interest the best. However, I will try to point you out the most interesting from my point of view. So among them, I would like to find out at first what's the market cap of particular cryptocurrencies, and we'll find out here which of them still haven't lost much of its value. Among them, there's a BNB. BNB, it's the cryptocurrency of Binance Exchange, and we can find it right now. We are on the brink of another collapse. We can find that we have broken out this support line, and with this break we can find there is a runaway to make the shorts liquidate, and afterwards, after this type of reaction, there's usually a sell-off that will happen somewhere when this liquidity will get dragged. So on BNB USDT, I do find that even if it's the cryptocurrency that have a real use cases in terms of its exchange, Binance, we can find that Binance is still, this cryptocurrency is still around 8x from where it was back in 2021. So we can find that there is a much more of a slide if those conditions on the global arena will worsen, and when those conditions on the cryptocurrency space also get much worse. So in terms of Binance coin, I do expect that those headwinds will eventually hit this token, and we will slide at least another 27% to the previous more important support So this 27% is highly achievable. You may just find out where this inflection point of this move will end up. We are right now at the very specific point where this cutting off shorts has commenced, but it won't last forever. I do expect it will end up somewhere in the vicinity of the area of 270 and 275, or rather 273 even. So you may wait for any signs of a possible reversal. In terms of Doge, you may find that we right now also are in a similar fashion as Binance Coin. I have proposed to you that Doge will be in a great point of a short back in November, 17th of November. However, that was a fake out that hasn't succeeded and hasn't slided forward. Right now, however, we are in a strict downturn and breaking out of this triangle, of this kind of a pennant that have been drawn right here, and right now we are also liquidating shorts that have packed the market, and right now looks like we are selling off eventually. So Doge might be in another slide forward right after this turnaway will end up. So Doge is the one also to watch very closely. Anticipate for any signs of reversal pattern if that happen, or if this green candle will get negated in a half of its measurement. I would expect the further sell-off to happen, but hang on for the close. Oh, it's closing in a seconds. So looks like we are around with negation, but we need to hang on for the further sell-off in order to verify it, as we have just hit 50%. So the market is hesitating right now. In terms of very interesting cryptocurrencies, there is also Matic that is also high in valuation in terms of its 2021 lows. So with this recent downturn and this very abrupt slide, I do expect we will be heading back to the levels of 0.36. So Matic is the one that also may suffer very badly. So if we just would like to draw a box for this, that's the one that may stop a further sell-off. But at first there's also a very interesting support at around this level, so 0.62 other levels that the Matic may stop, at least for some time. So we can find analyzing those three altcoins that there are at least three possibilities of earning that amount of more than 25% from those current levels. Remember about managing your risk, about not over leveraging, as you may get crushed and get squeezed by those market makers. So for me, that's a propositions of a trade, but remember about verifying its dispositions by yourself. So to don't blame anyone for the choices you make. So that's it in today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see each other tomorrow, 8:45 9 a.m. East time. Sorry for my voice, and bye bye.